Listen, everybody, we're giving away $10,000 to celebrate episode 10 of Papstalk podcast. It's not a giveaway, it's a raffle, I guess. It's $250 per ticket. If you buy 4 tickets, you get the 5th one free. At $10,000 for episode 10. If you're interested in that, look for Papstalk podcast on the Yellow Pages, and we'll get you sorted with a ticket right away. Good luck to everybody that bought tickets, and let's celebrate episode 10 with a fucking bang. Today, we have one of my favorite people that I've ever met in Los Santos. Somebody that is inspiring in so many ways, but also always the coolest person in the room. We have Barbara Dwyer here on the show. Let's hit the intro.
Flatter me, Johnny. Thank you.
Welcome. How's it going?
I'm doing very well. I've been looking forward to sitting down and talking with you.
Absolutely, me too. It's been a little while that we've known each other, but in that short span of time, I feel like you've introduced me to countless number of things that I wouldn't have otherwise known. Previous cults, battles with chickens and robots. Ideologies all around. It's been incredible.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I like to sort of, while telling people about my colorful past, I like to, show them the other sides of the city they might miss.
It's tradition on the podcast. I suck at introducing the guests, so I made up that it would be more interesting for the listener if the guests introduced themselves. But let's be honest, it's just because I suck at it.
No, come on, you're very good at your job.
Thank you very much. So in your own words, Barbara, let's tell the guests a little bit about you. Who are you?
Oh, good. All right. Well, I would say I'm a networker. I'm a yapper for sure. I got that gift to gab, honey. I'm a confidant. I'm a consultant. I'm a deprogrammed diva, former Epsilon member, granny on the grime. I never gave birth, but I am a mother to all.
And that is very apparent with the way everybody treats you. Everybody looks up to you for guidance. There's a lot of people that look to you for advice, and I've seen that firsthand. But let's start at the top. When did you move to Los Santos? Where were you before this?
Oh God, so long ago. Well, I'm originally from Liberty City, East Hook broker represent. I just came from humble beginnings. My father was a trash truck driver. I think now you call it sanitation, but back then, we weren't so PC. But an Irish father, an Italian mother, and he was a little bit of a drunk Johnny. So I got out as soon as I could. I moved to Los Santos when I was 18, believe it or not, very long ago. And then, I just became a secretary over at a movie production studio. I met a nice man over at the Gentry Manor Hotel. Me and a girlfriend were having drinks. And this man, he came up to me, started flirting, and he offered me a position there.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. Are you familiar with the Richards Majestic Productions, honey?
I am not, no.
Yeah, over in Backlot City, it's the movie studio. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's where I started out, Los Santos, in the admin area of the movies and such.
What were the streets like back then? What was Los Santos like back then?
Well, it's so interesting because, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The city was always, littered with greed and corruption, but, I think the biggest change is the technology and all these high rises coming up. Back then, you kind of had to put your nose to the grindstone a little bit more than you do now. It's all these twatters and groomers and grimes and things. It's so confusing. But it was all about the people which I still think is the main case.
So after the admin position over there, what was your trajectory like? What was the path you took from that point on?
Yeah, so his name was Solomon Richards. He's the man that actually owned the studio. I met him at the hotel. He kind of flirted. He offered me the secretary position. And then, between you and me, we sort of had a little office affair, Johnny. Ooh. And he ended up divorcing his wife. And I became the bookkeeper. I got a promotion.
Okay.
Then, slowly but surely, we ended up getting married ourselves. As I was the bookkeeper, I sort of got more into Vinewood and the scene, and he recruited me to Epsilon, and that's when things took a turn for the worse, Johnny. Epsilon is an insane cult that thinks aliens live on Earth. They worship an alien. They think the world is only 157 years old. So I was in deep for quite some time, honey.
That's one of the things that I asked you about the last time we met, because I've seen, the church itself and the signs that they put up. Driving around up north, you see different kind of paintings on buildings and paintings on even on some of the mountains. And these symbol based kind of I don't even know. I want to say murals. I don't even know if that's the right word for it. It's just really weird stuff that confused the hell out of me. And when I heard you use the word epsilon the other day, I thought it would be a great conversation to have, because I don't think a lot of people in Los Santos necessarily know exactly what goes down or what that group of people represent. I know you gave us a little TLDR there, but tell us about your experience when you first joined. What was that like?
So it's sort of, the overarching theme to all cults, Johnny, is, they kind of got to drag you in. They only give you a little information at a time. It's almost like multi-level marketing, you pay a little bit to learn a little bit, so you're invested. And then there's another tier. Oh, we'll teach you more. Just keep giving us money. But the thing is, to be anybody in Vinewood, you got to be in with them, So my husband was in the upper echelon, so I moved up quite quickly. But they sort of believe that everyone's related to everyone. We all come from the same tree, except for gingers. They hate gingers, Johnny.
Okay. Understandable.
Now, there's other things too, like dinosaurs aren't real. Men are supposed to lie with 9 new partners in a week, women with 6, except in July when you have to do 5 a day. It's very sex cult,
I feel like I need a document breaking that down. That didn't sound too bad.
Well, there's other things, aliens are present on Earth, and if you have a birthmark on your face, you might be descended from Kraft, the famous emperor of the 4th paradigm.
Oh.
Yeah, sperm doesn't exist. It's just a lie, by biology teachers, along with anything else you've ever learned. These are some of their teachings, and as you can see, they don't make any fucking sense. But when you've invested time and money and, community to these people, you're just in so deep you can't see the truth from the lies.
And how long were you there for?
Oh, God. A good 20 years, honey. I was in the deep end, so they just take over and, you can't recognize the truth when everyone around you believes the same insane shit. How I got out, if you want to know, is,
Absolutely.
When I was the bookkeeper, I started seeing the money get moved around, not just to Epsilon, but to gambling and all these shady deals. My husband was deeply addicted to gambling. So much so that he started borrowing money from the mafia, honey. He had to cover the costs of all our productions, exactly. Well, after a strict talking to, we ended up trying to get a divorce, but he didn't want it, right? So he knew that I would tell people about Epsilon, and he had me secreted away to Parsons. I was in a straitjacket for a month before I got out, honey.
In a straitjacket?
Yeah.
Admitted by your own husband?
Oh, they told everyone that I was a danger to myself and others. Of course, hypothetically, allegedly, I would never do anything like that. I would never hurt a fly.
Are you passionate about Japan's rich flavors? Join us in bringing an authentic taste of Japan to Los Santos with Wasa Bee. Invest now and experience the true essence of Japanese cuisine. Led by a seasoned owner of Japanese descent, Wasa Bee is committed to authenticity in every aspect. From sourced ingredients to cooking techniques, immerse yourself in the beauty of Japan at Wasa Bee and be part of creating unforgettable dining experiences. Contact Misa Price to explore investment opportunities and shape the future of Japanese dining with us. Invest in Wasa Bee today.
Was there any point in time where they were cornering you that way, where you thought maybe I am the crazy one and they're the normal ones?
I mean, for a minute there, probably like on the 15th day of just like looking out the window, and we only got like 10-minute breaks in the sun. They make it look really nice, like it's a rehabilitation center up there on the hill, but they kind of lock you away in a room, sweetie. And it's slop. They just feed you oatmeal. That's it.
Ugh. How long was your stay there?
Oh, God, a full 31 days, honey.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but somehow I managed to get one of the doctors to believe me. And, he kind of helped me get out. I took him down to the campus over there in Rockford Hills. And then, he saw for himself how they were brainwashing people. And he helped me get in contact with the lawyer. We served my husband divorce papers, and I got out and got to liberty.
I don't know what the statistic would be, but I don't think that's that conversion rate of people getting out of a situation like that is very high.
Yeah, luckily he really helped me with my deprogramming material. Every once in a while I have to review it on my phone if I start to feel like I'm gonna black out, but I'm definitely fully deprogrammed now.
Incredible. What was the hardest thing to deprogram in terms of everyday life? Is there something that stands out to you?
Honestly, I still have like this deep-seated hatred in the back of my brain for gingers, but I'm very, very much progressing. Actually, the man that I'm talking to now, he's a ginger.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I think a lot of people in Los Santos need some deprogramming on that.
Exactly. God, I feel so bad. So I try to exposure therapy, I think they call it. And, he's bald, but he has a ginger beard. So it sort of was like a little introduction. And now I have like 3 friends that are gingers.
For a split second, I thought you said his balls had a ginger beard. And then my brain rewired and...
Oh, I could have been mumbling. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's my own interpret. Like I heard what I wanted to hear. Yeah.
Oh, you wanted to hear that.
I filled in the blanks a little bit there.
I got it. I see, Johnny. I get you what you're throwing down, honey.
Back to Liberty City and deprogramming, complete fresh start yet again. How does life go from there? Where did the path take you?
So I was in Liberty for another 20 years, just sort of living off the high hog. We were very wealthy. And in the settlement, I got half of what he owned, and he hated me for it. Now, mind you, a lot of that had been gambled away, but he was still producing like Bitch in the Trunk and all these movies that you know about. So
Yeah.
I got a little brownstone on Middle Park West and just, lived the life of a society maven and did my little, tea dates with the girls and went to functions around the city. But I had to come back to Los Santos. I couldn't stay away, After the war, my husband mysteriously died, Johnny, and he left me his last will and testament.
Oh.
I thought I was coming back to owning that movie studio. It turns out he was in complete debt. Everything had been seized by the IRS. And I just barely got out with the clothes off my back,
Oh, no.
Yeah, so now I had to start fresh, honey, and it's been a struggle. A woman like me working sanitation, senior buns, grime, imagine it.
Yeah, third turn of the page right there, and moving to Los Santos and getting back to our first start. How did you have the energy, the drive to actually pick yourself back up? I mean, moving here for me was a struggle, and a lot of times I thought, I might just pack my bag and go somewhere else because this is not easy.
Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, when I arrived, I barely had any money to my name, so I wasn't really given a choice. I had to sign up for the government housing program. They handed me this newfangled cell phone thing that I barely knew how to work, and all the nice young people have been so kind to help me understand all this new technology. So I made a lot of friends, and I figured, I really care about community. That's one thing that's, good that I learned from the Epsilon program was, you're only as strong as the people around you and the company you keep. So I thought I might just stay and really try to make a go of it.
I love that you use that word, community, because that is a word that I associate with you. Whenever we do bump into each other on the streets of Los Santos, there happens to always be a group of people surrounding you or talking to you or trying to get your attention in some way. And they always seem to be a different group of people. From an outside perspective, I see the community that you're building in even different pockets of the city. If we bump into each other outside of the Weasel News building, it's a group of different people than when I saw you outside of Senior Buns. Is that is that something intentional, or are you just drawn to creating that kind of environment for people?
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, Johnny, but I have this philosophy of I don't chase, I attract.
Incredible.
I seem to have just met some really nice people that enjoy my company and I enjoy theirs, and they are very varied. You're right. They walk from lots of different walks of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to, have a diverse friend group and learn from them as much as they learn from me.
Is there a group or a certain person maybe or a group of people that you just don't fuck with? Like these are not my people. These are not Barbara's people right here.
I haven't really met a group like that just yet. I'm sure it'll come. But honestly, people like to hate on the grinders in the city, and I understand that because, I have this sort of phrase, relationships over paper slips, right? But you gotta have money to do anything here, so I don't really fault them for just putting their nose to the grindstone. You know, they're working towards a goal as well.
Yeah, 100%. There is a fine balance between the relationships and building your community and actually being able to sustain yourself and grow as a person. Buy a house, buy a car, move out of those apartments in Little Seoul.
They're awful.
I haven't had running water in 5 weeks.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'll be honest. I've been going down to the sewers, just you know, splashing myself with some water down there. You know, you can find some water down there.
It's good for you.
Yeah, it builds your immune system, Barbara.
Exactly. I've been saying the same thing.
I stink, but I haven't been sick in 2 months. You know.
No, you've got man musk. It's nice, honey.
We'll dive into a little bit of man musk a little later, or maybe we won't. Maybe, you know what? I'm getting distracted here because what we need to talk about is all your brand new ventures. You have so many things going on all at the same time. I feel like you might be one of the busiest people in the city. You've introduced me to the Battle Chicken Federation.
Yes.
You've introduced me to a couple of organizations that you're helping start up, including but not limited to a school, an education system that you're looking to start.
Yes.
Let's list them for us and let's dive into it one by one, because I'm not only genuinely curious about it, I think everybody needs to hear this.
Well, with Battle Chicken, I'm kind of the mother hen of them. It's actually founded by Max Dumont, a lovely, lovely friend of mine. And it's just a dice rolling game where you have chicken robots that battle each other out, and you can train them and you can upgrade them and customize them. And it's just a really lovely time. I've met a really great group of people doing that, so I like to preach that and spread it around to people that don't know about it, yourself included. And then, you know, my own ventures, we're thinking of calling it the School of Hard Knocks. It's, you know, hopefully out of the Ulsa campus, but I don't want to tie myself to location, Johnny. It's going to be more about events and, like we said, community building. You know, maybe some scavenger hunts, maybe some social dances, little proms, or most importantly, the continuing education program with professors and faculty.
Incredible. And what kind of stuff what kind of curriculum would you have listed on there?
Oh God, all sorts of things. What we've got right now, I'm thinking definitely like counseling services, but with a twist. You know, some people might need a softy person to sort of cry on their shoulder, but some people might need some tough love and to get a little like whipped into shape, you know, or home economics, you know, sex ed, history, speech and debate, choir, acting, all sorts of things. It all sort of just depends on the rotating roster of faculty. What I've found is that everyone has a specialty and something that they're like very passionate about, like leaders of industry, you know? And I think there are certain people that would be willing to impart that knowledge to other people that may be new to the city or just don't have like a guide of what they want to do with their life.
Incredible. Yeah, I have this same approach when it comes to the Paps Media kind of umbrella that I want to bring. And maybe this is something that we can bring to the School of Hard Knocks. You know, I want to teach people how to create media, specifically audio media. Like you said, you know, there might be somebody that just moved here yesterday that doesn't necessarily know exactly how to go about it. So we started them maybe handing out tapes, you know, getting them to have conversations with people from around the city and breaking the ice that way, and then getting them to record maybe an ad or something and moving up the ranks, you know?
That's a great idea. Honestly, that's what I found is the best way to meet people. I just say hello to everyone, you know? And some people are too busy to stop and talk, but others are conversationalists and you get to learn about them, and then you just grow your network from there. Like you were saying, I'm always with different people, different groups, and honestly, my past with Epsilon sort of makes it difficult for me to put up boundaries, and I find myself being pulled in so many different directions. So I really wanted to be able to like highlight other people that might have knowledge that I don't have, like yourself, like you were just saying, so they could impart the knowledge to people that I don't have, and that I won't overextend myself, you know?
And I think that's one of the most attractive traits about you, for me personally, is that not only do you have this wealth of knowledge and incredible history behind you that you can tell just by having a regular conversation with you, but you're also always very interested in the person you're talking to. And I feel like the way you ask about what they do and where they're from, and you're actually interested and you're actually looking to learn something, which I think is not very common here in Los Santos. A lot of people come with their preconceived notions of what is right and what is wrong, and they kind of just apply that here. You know what I mean? They, what's the term? Stick to their guns and don't stray from that path whatsoever. And I think you're like water.
Oh, I appreciate that. You know, you're very true with your statement there, Johnny. I think creativity is the limit in this city, and people don't really see that sometimes. They just see, like, oh, I want the house, I want the car, let me just work and work and work and slave away. And there's so many other things that you could put your time towards that will pay off in the future, maybe not in the immediate. And those are the relationships. And that's where you get the spark to, like, think of an idea that will make you unique and stand out from the crowd, you know?
Yeah, I 100% agree. 100% agree. As somebody that owns a business and runs the podcast, and we're looking to expand, my personal bank account is close to zero. Absolutely close to zero, but I'm investing everything into the idea of this growth of the media production company. And yeah, I think we're in sync when it comes to that kind of stuff. The other day we bumped into each other at the Legion Square Park, and you introduced me to Andy.
Oh yes, Andy, Dr. Andy Fisher. He's a lovely young man.
Tell me a little bit about what you two have going on, because you made me read this kind of you know what, I'll let you explain it, because I don't want to butcher it.
Well, I'm just a lowly follower. I just learned about Star Mother through Dr. Andrew Fisher, Andy. He runs the Cream Machine Vandy free taxi service around town, and he's been so kind to impart his knowledge about Star Mother to me. May her light guide us. And, you know, she just sort of directs you on a path in life. She watches out for you. She shines the way, if you will. Now, much like the university, the teachings of Star Mother are more like she helps you help yourself, you know? We lay out the path in front of you, and then you choose your thing, like wherever you're going to go in life. We're not trying to dictate anything. It's more like, if you're interested, come hear a little bit more about it. So I'm only just beginning to learn the teachings of Star Mother. But yeah, I'm helping Andy spread the word here and there.
Basically, like we just said, just like water.
Exactly.
Incredible. And just for everybody listening that might want to contact you, whether it's for Star Mother, whether it's for the school, whether it's maybe they're deep into Epsilon and need some guidance on a way out, how can people normally contact you, Barbara?
Well, anytime I'm around, I make sure I'm in the yellow pages. You can, find me with my name, Barbara Dwyer, or Granny on the Grime, the Dean of the School of Hard Knocks. Sometimes I do HR consultancy as well from the corporations around town.
Attention, Los Santos. Get ready to make history as we introduce the first ever Civilian Oversight Council to our city. And who better to lead the charge than Archie Archer? That's right, Archie Archer is not just running for the cock, he's leading the charge for a new era of accountability and transparency. So let's make history together, Los Santos. Let's cast our votes for Archie Archer and ensure that our voices are finally heard loud and clear. It's time to shake shit up and pave the way for a brighter future. Vote Archie Archer for the Civilian Oversight Council, or board if you're boring. Let's make history on Election Day.
I wanted to say thank you for your time, because like I said earlier, I do know how busy you are, and putting your phone away and sitting down for a period of time, I can only imagine the chaos that's going on outside of the studio right now, waiting for you to jump on. But we like to wind down with this question, and I think it's one that sparks a lot of conversation, because now that the listeners have already heard your journey, it's always interesting to kind of go back. Barbara, if you had a time machine and you were able to go back in time to 18-year-old Barbara, just before everything popped off, just before you met all the people you met, just before the 3 times over that you had to reset your entire life, basically, you were going to give young Barbara a piece of advice, or say absolutely anything to young Barbara after all this experience, what would that thing be?
Oh, God. Well, if there's anything I learned from my story, it's that money is fleeting, right? I mean, look at me. I used to have a mansion in Rockford Hills, a townhouse in Middle Park West, and I'm just starting over now. So, again, relationships over paper slips, kid. Money comes and goes. Invest in those that invest in you. Be present and look the person in the eye you're talking to. I hate being a phone person. My presence is a present, and just have a conversation with the person next to you. Don't get distracted by the little things.
Incredible advice. Incredible advice. I love that. I absolutely fucking love that. Because as someone that is bound to having to deal with social media because of the podcast and twat out this and contact that, and I get a lot of text messages a day about people that want to, jump on the show and stuff like that. My favorite thing is to put that fucking phone away and sit here like we are right now and just have a conversation with someone, get to know their history, get to know their past. I mean, as someone with one of the most colorful and dynamic backgrounds we've had on the show so far, I think I could attest to you always get to learn something absolutely outstanding and absolutely new every time you sit down with someone and have a conversation. So 100% in sync with you on that.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you guys for listening. Barbara, I feel like we need a part 2 and a part 3. I don't know if you agree, but I feel like we've barely scratched the surface on this half an hour. I think there's a lot more to dive into. I would love to have you back on once the School of Hard Knocks is up and running at some point in the future, in the very near future. Hopefully we get to sit down and dive a little deeper into the more present and current aspects of your life, and a little more into the future. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. If you did listen up until this point, make sure you spread the word, twat out the thing and the stuff. Tell somebody about it, pass on a tape, and we'll catch you again very soon. Barbara, usually I do my little outro. I say thank you to everybody, and then I pass the microphone on to you. You have the floor with the listeners, and then whenever you are ready to end this episode, say the words, hit the outro, and that's when we will end it. So from Paps, thank you guys for listening. Barbara, take it away.
Help us help yourself, honey. Look me up, School of Hard Knocks. Hit the outro, kids.